This is my survival server, and this is my city, but there's a problem. While the city itself is coming along, the land around it looks like this. So let's fix that. I've been planning the landscape for this island on my Twitch streams linked down below, and so far I'm pretty happy with how it's coming along. But one thing is missing, a really cool water feature. I know I want a waterfall on this mountain, and luckily Mojang heard my calls. In the new sulfur update, they're adding geysers which make constant bubbles and look great for waterfalls. So using the new geysers, I'm gonna try to build perfect waterfalls to later build in my survival server. So let's get right into it. Alright, so here we are on a creative copy of my survival base that I've been working on. I'm pretty happy with how it's coming along. As you can see kind of behind me here, I've been working on a bunch of landscapes, sort of like on and off stream. If you want to stop by my server, by the way, IP on screen now, southhollow.us. I'd appreciate if you stop by. Just a chill survival building server, you know, nothing too crazy. More info in the Discord, you know, Discord link down below as well. But anyway, back to this mountain here. So I built this mountain mostly with like Axiom, and I am like kind of really happy with how it looks, honestly, for like the first mountain I like properly built ever, pretty much, and my first time using Axiom. So I think it's kind of tough. But I basically had an idea here for like this double sort of like waterfall type feature here, which you can kind of see it's, you know, planned out with blue wool, obviously. I'm honestly not entirely sure how to begin with this. I've only built like one like actual waterfall before, pretty much. I don't like using water, obviously, because water's kind of ugly, so you kind of end up using glass, and it looks really good in my opinion. So let's get a bunch of blocks out here real quick that I think I'm gonna use, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I got a bunch of blocks out here. Let me real quick kind of go through and explain what they are. Of course, the glass is gonna be used for like the flowing water itself. It just kind of looks good, nice transparency to it. Then we got the white blocks here. It might seem kind of weird to basically use almost no blue in like a waterfall, but if you look at rushing water, it is like just really white. So the white blocks will just kind of be a nice background for this. So you could like kind of see through a bit of a tint of blue through the glass, but it'll mostly be white behind it. And these darker stone blocks will be used to kind of represent like wet stone, because obviously, you know, looks darker, water splashing everywhere, it'll look fire. I'm kind of excited to get into it though. I'm a bit worried. I haven't built anything like this really, but we'll see. I think first up, I'm actually gonna like decide on the water level for this part. I kind of like this riverbed sort of texture I got going on here. I'm not sure how final it is, but I think it's tough. I don't know how high to make the water though. By the way, sorry if this is kind of like a build and yap sort of video. I really just want to like make a waterfall with this geyser, and I figured, I mean, I have a waterfall here to build, so may as well take you guys along for the ride here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be using water for this or like entirely glass for the river. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I just want to kind of get like a water level sort of finalized here. Does that look good? We could do one block higher. I'm not entirely sure. One block higher will be too tall. Yeah, I don't want it to like come up to this. I want like a little bit of a coast sort of thing, you know what I mean? So I think this is good. All right, let me kind of clean up this outline a bit, because like obviously this shape is like not perfect. I just kind of like painted it with Axiom. So something a bit more natural sort of an angle. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Obviously the water like falls. I'm probably gonna move this back a little bit. Obviously like a more steep drop. So it'll probably actually come out a bit. And yeah, it'll kind of like drop here pretty much. Because yeah, obviously it needs to be a straight drop. So I'm gonna smooth these out. All right, up here is a little weird. Like it kind of goes sideways a bit. Kind of a bit too wide as well. So we're gonna kind of thin this out a bit, I guess. All good? Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. All right, so it's kind of like the finalized shape for it, and I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of a bit of like a wide waterfall. I don't really know. I haven't thought much about the source of the water for this. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't decided if I want like some kind of pond or like spring. Obviously, it doesn't have to really make sense. I mean, it's Minecraft, come on. But we can kind of just have it like spawn in somewhere, you know? We don't gotta think about that, you know? We don't gotta think about that. All right, so yeah, just kind of like have the shapes like basically as simplified as possible here. Obviously, this looks terrible. Okay, that's part of the plan. It's part of the plan. All right, so what I'm thinking right now, basically this blue block is like the placeholder for these white blocks, right? So I definitely have to move these in a block because there's gonna be a layer of glass over them, right? So they'll kind of be more like this. Okay, and obviously we'll have kind of like a bit of fall off over the edge. All right, and we'll do the same thing up here. Just move this in a block. Okay, hold up. All right, I'm liking it. I actually really like it. I think the shape looks pretty good. I think once we get like proper blocks, it'll look a lot better. I'm gonna real quick kind of like take this river, and I think I'm just gonna lead it like here. I could maybe put like boulders here, maybe like have it somehow come out of a spring or something. I'm not entirely sure, but for now, we'll just kind of lead it over here, you know? Okay, all right. And yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I need to drop this down a bit too, because there's gonna be glass over it, obviously. Do something like that. Same thing up here. Round the top out again. All right, I'm a fan. All right, let's see if I can get a bit more like shape going on in these. Like, I don't hate the way they look, but just a little bit more something going on here might kind of help. That's not bad, at least for the bigger one. I think we're gonna keep the smaller one like that though. All right, I'm gonna get these like white blocks in now. I'm not really sure how. I think I'm gonna just start by replacing all of it with white wool. Obviously it doesn't look great, but there'll be a layer of glass over it and it'll be like a lot more detailed. I think I also want prismarine here and maybe some like other like light blue sort of blocks. Because like where the water isn't flowing particularly fast, like towards the top here, there should probably be like a hint of blue in it, I think. Sorry if you're like trying to use this as a tutorial. I don't think I'd recommend it, but we're gonna just try and see what happens here. All right, yeah, I think I want like this to kind of almost like streak maybe in like some sort of way. Like just, yeah, something like that. Maybe get a bit of like the lighter stone blocks in here. Because yeah, maybe that's like a break in the water. Because like, you know, where there's white, it's kind of where it's like flowing fast. And there's like a rock coming out here and it kind of like breaks it up a bit. It'll be a bit of a kind of darker spot in there. All right, I think I'm seeing the vision, even though like there's not much of a vision to see currently, but I think there will be soon. Once we get the glass on it, I think it'll look really good. And then sort of like around the edges of it, it should be like more stone. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like carved out its way here, and the rocks are sort of like a darker color because they're like wet. You know what I mean? Something like that. Okay. There's a learning process, all right? Okay, so something sort of like that. Obviously, I'm not entirely sure about it, but we're gonna kind of make some changes as we go, of course. I'm gonna kind of like flatten out this bottom part. And I think this should probably come back as well, because like this is where all the water's like kind of falling down, right? So I think it would sort of erode this, I'd imagine. Okay, so something like that. I'm liking it. I think we gotta get the glass in now, or at least like one layer of just light blue glass to sort of just get like an idea of what it looks like, right? So I'm just gonna go for it here. All right, so I think it looks pretty good. Like obviously this is sort of like step one, but like it looking all right at this stage is like a very good sign. Like it is a really good sign. That's so tough. Hold up. Obviously it's not perfect yet, of course, but the fact that I don't hate it yet is a very good sign. And at the bottom, we'll have like a bunch of like white glass and stuff. At the end of the video, I'll add the geysers in. I know this is a geyser video, and I haven't really put geysers anywhere yet, but that'll come later. Because right now I'm actually in the version before they add geysers, because like I won't world edit, and that's a snapshot. So like towards the end of the video, I'll go in and I'll do like final touches and build the geysers and everything. I actually want this all to be like stone right here. I feel like it just makes sense in my head. Oh, we're getting there. All right, let's get some white glass out. I think towards the bottom, we need like a lot more of it, obviously, because it's like bubbles splashing everywhere. And of course, we'll have the geysers for that, but you know, like I said, waiting on that for a little bit. I'm actually gonna get some candles out, because I think it's just like, yeah, sort of like more like small, like sort of white details here. Bunch more glass panes. Some sort of in the air here a bit, like, you know, it's like kind of splashing up, you know? Okay, all right, we're getting there. I'm liking it. Let's get all the glass out real quick, because I think I want like, you know, maybe some like water, like a bit more on the sides, you know? Sort of like falling down here. And then right here where there's like this dark part, right? I would imagine some sort of like darker streak of glass. Maybe we could even like do glass panes in here. I think that looks pretty good. It's just all about kind of like layering it, I think. I don't know. I don't want it to look too perfect either. So like maybe like here we like take like a chunk of it out or something. All right, Loki, like come on, bro, come on. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. A bit more of like a darker color here, like a bit here. Actually, no, that would make sense. Probably like under. The white glass is like very overpowering, so I have to kind of use it like sparingly, right? But I think that looks pretty good. And sort of on the way down, like up here, we could have some more like sort of blue details here. Maybe some like blue candles out, potentially. And all right, let's see what we're looking at for our first waterfall. That is really good. Like, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe you don't agree. I don't know. I'm not sure like how people feel about glass as water in this game. I like it, but I guess I would understand why maybe you wouldn't. Okay, all right. Maybe we get a bit of like a lighter gray sort of like dotted around at the top. Blend it in a little bit. All right, what are we looking at? That's fire. I think we could like do a better job kind of blending this. I might genuinely just do glass water here. I'm gonna like kind of sit on that for a bit and think about it, because I'm not entirely sure yet. That might not even be like a this video sort of thing, you know what I mean? That might just be like a decision for me to make some other time. But I'm happy with it so far. That looks pretty good. I think over here we need a bit more like darker stone sort of blocks, because I did it on the other side. It looks a bit like kind of like lopsided. All right, I'm actually a huge fan of that, low-key. And once we get to the geysers and everything in it, I think it'll look even better. I'm really excited for that. Next up, though, I actually kind of want to get to this part up here. So right here, there won't be any flowing water, right? So it'll kind of be like a darker palette. So I'm going to probably use like more like blue glass and cyan glass instead of like light blue and white. So let me get sort of like another block palette off of this, I think. All right, so I got this sort of gradient here, and like I'm not going to use it like quite like a gradient, I don't think. It's going to be kind of a bit more chaotic. Probably like straight from white to like blue at some parts, but I think it'll look pretty good. Like, I think the way I want to do this, I think I'll just use light blue for now to like plan it. But like, okay, I actually don't know how to explain what I'm thinking, but it'll be so cool once it's done. All right, guys. Sorry, something sort of like that, I think. And again, these light blue blocks won't all be light blue. It'll be like a bunch of random blue colors, pretty much. Probably like more on the darker side, I think. But like the ones closer to the edge here will do like some sort of lighter colors, I think. But yeah, then we sort of get into like blue, you know what I mean? And again, this will kind of look like pretty bad until you get the glass on it, I think. And that's fine. You know, I'm ready for that. All right, I'm prepared. Anyway, just fill this whole thing in blue, and it'll look tough. It'll be sick. I think cyan, like anywhere other than like right next to like these sort of blocks, will look terrible. So I'm just kind of barely using it. But that's basically it for the wool under there. I'm gonna fill it in with light blue, and then I think I'm gonna gradient it to like cyan and dark blue in a second here. It'll be generational. Trust the process. Okay, hear me out here. That's not that bad, especially once you consider that like we're gonna have like this sort of like same waterfall details like about to like here, so it'll kind of blend a bit better, I think. I do want to get some other like light blue details up here, like a couple more candles, maybe some carpets. I think up here might look good. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I like it, I think. I don't know. Maybe not, but I think I do. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of that in this video, my bad. I think I like it though, so that's good enough for me. All right, with that done though, it of course means we got another waterfall to build. Yay, let's go. I'm complaining about building waterfalls in a waterfall video. Like, yeah, bro. All right, let me remind myself how I did this before, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's start some of these like stones going up here, I think. The thing is like this cliff up here is already pretty dark, so, you know, it's kind of a bit redundant maybe, I don't know. But I like kind of the shape that it gives, at least on this side, because this one's kind of like more in. But I think it looks pretty good. All right, let's get some white blocks in here. I'm actually thinking like this sort of ridge right here, right? Like water's going down it. Why would the water flow around this point, right? So it's got to be like a rock, I guess, of some sort, you know? Okay, sorry, it's a yap video. I'm low-key just yapping, but like that should be darker, I feel. Probably not that dark, but maybe like cobblestone dark. And then like we kind of gradient it out a bit. Where else? Maybe we'll have like a dark streak like here. Like one more sort of like gray spot there. That looks pretty good, I think. I believe, and we'll just kind of gradient it out again, of course. Okay. We're getting there. And then now that we're at the top, we're gonna mix some blue in, of course, again, kind of like this. Getting this down to a science, guys. Get this down to a science. Something like that. Maybe like one more gray there. I think that looks pretty good. So again, we'll cover it with glass, the light blue, just cover it up. But yeah, it's pretty good. All right, I guess we get the white at the bottom now. I'm kind of going all over the place here. I don't remember the order I built this one in, which is maybe concerning because I did that like 20 minutes ago, but whatever. It's kind of different because this is like glass here now instead of water. Okay, what are we looking at? Not a fan of this, but other than that, I think we're pretty good. Let's see. Okay, maybe a bit more. Like this one feels a bit more chaotic, I feel like, and this one feels maybe too orderly, honestly. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we'll add a bit more to it later, but I'm happy with it. Let's kind of get this like cyan sort of like detail stuff in, the kind of glass panes and stuff. It's honestly like not as hard as I thought to build these. It's just like one thing at a time, and it's really a trust the process sort of build. So if you're not willing to trust the process, this is actually probably like pretty difficult. You just gotta trust the process sometimes. So right here, since there's like a stone here, and I'm kind of imagining that's why it's going out, there will be more white, I guess, maybe? I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna stop talking. We're getting there. We need the details on the top now, so of course, kind of some blue candles, some glass, kind of just the same stuff I got at the bottom here. Okay, but I think that's good for that waterfall. I like that a lot. I think I like it. I think I might add like a bit of like this sort of stone color on the sides. I think it looks a bit too like neat almost. Like I don't know how to explain it really. Like you see what I mean? Like it just looks a bit too perfect. So I think maybe we like need some sort of like messy, like sort of lighter texturing on the sides here. And yeah, that already looks kind of better. I like that. Obviously that looks a bit lighter than the cliff, so it doesn't really make much sense, but who cares, you know? I think it's tough. Fire, whatever generic adjective you could use to describe this. And now we got another top section of water here. I think I am going to end up doing like fake water everywhere because that looks better than that. All right, come on. Like, I don't know, but I kind of like seeing the riverbed. So maybe I'll like not do the blue on the bottom. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll need a executive decision on that, you know, ask somebody else. I don't know. I need more opinions on that, I think. But up here, we'll do the blue water with the glass and everything. So again, just kind of grab this palette here. See, we just kind of, again, like sort of like feather it out basically. I clear my inventory. Genius. I do that like so often. I just constantly clear my inventory. Like cyan barely fits, just like kind of in like a spot or two, and then it looks pretty good, I think. But all right, I think that's kind of about that. Let's texture this again. Very like slight texturing here. Of course, fill it with glass, and then we'll just kind of see what we're working with there. All right, what do we got here? It's not bad. Let's get the glass out here, texture it. And then like after this, like I'm not sure what my next step will be. I think what I'm gonna do is get like sort of like almost like mossy, like boulder sort of texturing around it, maybe. Like, I'm not entirely sure. And then, of course, I'm going to update this world, and we're going to add the geysers into it, and it's going to be sick. All right, it's going to be sick. All right, we're, like, almost done here. I think we actually might just kind of, like, be done with, like, the waterfall part itself, honestly. I think I like it. Like, I don't know. Like, hold up, okay? Like, I don't know, man. Like, that looks pretty good to me. Dude, I really don't know how to do, like, the origin of this waterfall. And it's kind of bothering me. Like, I don't know. So it's kind of gonna be a bit of an experiment here, but we'll see. I do want to get something in. I guess I could have like almost like a, I actually don't know, like sort of like a cave entrance maybe, like, because then you can kind of like suspend your disbelief a little bit, you know what I mean? There's some like crazy spring water like thing in there, you know what I mean? If it's just here and ends, and it's like, where is that water coming from, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think of how I want this to be. I'm not sure if I want this to be like some sort of like sheets sort of rock, or if I want it to be like more of like a boulder. I'm not entirely sure. I think maybe boulder though. Like I think the moss might look pretty good on it. Or maybe something in the middle, you know? It's not the worst thing ever. Obviously I don't have it textured, so, you know, chill. I don't think that's that bad. Like really, I don't think it's that bad. All right, I'm just gonna finish texturing this like top part up. Maybe like put some black glass out the back so you can't really see. Finish the glass on the bottom, and then we'll, I think, get to the geysers, honestly. I think it'll be pretty tough. How are we looking? That's not bad. That is probably fine. I actually don't hate that as like the source for the water, because like I was kind of thinking originally about putting like some kind of pond up here, and then you can just kind of think like, oh, maybe there's like springs that kind of feed into it, you know? But I kind of want this space open to build a house at some point in the future, so I think I'm kind of happy with it like that. Let's get some grass out though, maybe some ferns for this top part, because it's like a really like mossy sort of boulder. All right, that's kind of sick. I'm actually liking this. Hold up. I actually really like this. That looks so good. If you can't tell by my voice, way happier with this than I thought I'd be. Actually looks so good. Oh my god. I think real quick I want to get some like sort of like smaller like mossy boulders around, and then I'm gonna go to the newest version and we're gonna add geysers to this thing, and it's gonna look sick. All right, it's gonna look sick. I can't wait. I guess, you know, good a time as any. I kind of plugged at the beginning, but this build is, of course, for my Minecraft survival server, southhollow.us. If you want to stop by, I'd really appreciate it. I play on there like a lot, like way too much. So if you want to, you know, stop by, maybe see me, you know, I'm there a lot. I also build this on stream sometimes, so, you know, maybe follow my Twitch down below. I'd appreciate it. I also stream on YouTube, but like Twitch kind of clears, low-key, you know what I'm saying? Twitch is kind of better. But yeah, stop by the server, please. All right, and with a bunch of those small details done, I'm low-key finished with like the waterfall itself before the geysers. That looks so good. Like, I'm not trying to like hype myself up here. I didn't think I was gonna be able to build anything that looked like good at all, honestly. So I'm really happy with this. Let me know down below, maybe you hate it. I mean, there's always somebody, you know, but I'm gonna real quick, I'm gonna update this world to the new version, and then I'm gonna add the geysers, and it's gonna look sick, I think. We'll see. All right, so here we are on the newest version. Of course, we got the sulfur blocks and stuff here, you know, just such an incredible block set. I'm only half joking. Where'd my skin go? Anyway, like I was saying, sulfur update. I'll get the potent sulfur here. I low-key already forget how this works, even though I made a video about it like a week or two ago, which is pretty cool. It does nothing, but if you like put lava underneath it, it like, sorry, wow, I'm so articulate. There you go, okay? Constant geyser like bubbles if there's lava underneath it, or like intermittent if there's magma, is how it works, I think. But there's like some weird my monitor turned off, that's cool. There's some weird properties with it though. That seems to stop some of it, but I guess 2 blocks stops all of it, which is kind of interesting. I think the height depends on how much water we have up here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, so that's taller. So we want the lowest amount of water. If you put the block directly, it stops it completely. Okay, this will make sense to me one day, but that day is not today, so we're just gonna go for it. All right, so where do we want these? Maybe we can get one here, perhaps. Okay, so it needs a source block, like, directly on top of it. Okay, I think I made it the height limit. I'm such a genius. Okay, so we gotta raise it up at least a block here, seemingly. What happens if I break this? Okay, let's lower it again. Yo, okay, I don't do research for these videos, bro. Low-key, like, I'm sorry. Oh, yo, I'm gonna lose it, man. If I can't get the, yo, oh my God. There we go, okay. All right, first try. I'm gonna put a few of these around. I don't know how many. I don't really know if there's like such thing as like too much. Like if I line the whole thing, would it look bad? I don't know. Like I'm genuinely not sure. Maybe I'll put one like every other block or something, or like kind of like scattered around. I'm not entirely sure. I think what I'm actually gonna do is get rid of all this water for a second. So if I get rid of this water here, I could just do this without like it being nearly as annoying. So I think one would look good here. I get one here, and maybe we'll get one like over here. Boom. Okay, hold up. Let's try to cover these up as best as possible here. I don't actually understand how they work, which is pretty fair, you know, standard. But like they seem to get blocked by everything, so I'm not sure what I could do to really cover these. I don't know. So apparently they can go through scaffolding, which probably looks better than a gap, but like honestly, maybe not. Open trapdoors. I mean, yeah, but that doesn't really help me. Whatever. I kind of give up. I don't think scaffolding looks better than a hole in the ground, but it might for like this one specifically, just because there's like sand right there. So I think I'll leave it for that one and then fill the rest of them in. But I'm gonna fill this back with water real quick and we'll see what we're working with. Okay, that is so sick. That looks so good. All right, like, come on, bro, come on. Does this look worse or better without this here? I think it looks better without the scaffolding. I think it looks fine like that. That is so sick, bro. This block is actually kind of goated. Hold up. I think maybe if I like cover up the base a little bit, because I don't want it to look like the bubbles are really coming out of the ground like that much. You know what I mean? Like that looked, you know, that was a bit much, you know? Okay. Low-key lake, come on, bro. Yo, come on, man. That is so sick. All right, let's put some geysers up here. This should be a bit easier because there's no water, but it might also be like a bit harder to hide because there's no water. I'm not sure how it'll look without water there, but we'll see. It's a experimental sort of video. That looks maybe even like better than when there's water. Maybe not better, but not worse. So I'm happy with that. How would it look like if I just put a line of them? I'm kind of curious. Like, I'm being a bit like hesitant with how I use them, but like it might just look good to just kind of spam them. I think they do look better, kind of like spaced, which is kind of good. Makes me feel like I didn't waste my time. Maybe we'll get rid of this one here. I'm trying to like find a nice middle ground for this. You know what I mean? All right, let's see here. What do we got? That looks really good. Like that actually looks so good, bro. Oh my God. Oh, I guess these are technically like a block too high, right? Are they? Like they're a block higher than these. Never ends. Does that look better or worse? I'm actually not sure. It looks better. Okay, never mind. It looks better. Little miscalc, you know, it happens, you know, it happens. What do we got though? Because I think this might be it. Let's see here. Like, come on, man. Like, that looks so good. I'm like super happy with this as like a waterfall build, but also just as like the geysers are sick. So that's cool that we got something interesting. I know, okay, someone's gonna comment that I'm milking it. Okay, leave me alone. But yeah, this looks so good. I'm really happy with it. But yeah, thank you for being in this video. I really appreciate it. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this video. It's kind of a bit of a mix up for me. It's been like actually forever since I built like something other than a house in a video. So it's like kind of weird. I don't usually do this kind of stuff. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, you know, let me know. I'd really appreciate that. Check out my Minecraft server, southhollow.us. Just a chill building server, you know, no grief and that kind of stuff. Just you know, calm building, stuff like that. I got a Discord, discord.gg/rowannn with 2 N's. I got a Patreon as well down below. I'd really appreciate if you know, supported me on there. But thank you for making the end of the video. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. And of course, as always, thank you to my supporters, Aelic, ThaMango, Natural High, Lezlo, Crumbcakes, Val, GuyBuddy, Birdsknees, Veloxra, NotZyloz, and of course, Mogswamp. See ya.